Good morning students. Today we'll continue with the second portion of our lesson, Bepin Choudhury's Lapse of Memory. So please take page number 62. It is the second portion. Bepin Babu's car was safely parked in Bepin Street by the Lighthouse Cinema. So his car was safely parked at Bepin Street by the Lighthouse Cinema. He told the driver as he got into the car. So he is getting inside the car. Just drive by the Ganga. Will you? Sitaram. So driver's name is Sitaram. So he is asking to drive to the Ganga. Drive up the Strand Road. Bepin Babu regretted having paid so much attention to the intruder. So while getting inside the car, he regretted. He thought, why I wasted such time to that intruder. He had never been to Ranchi because he thinks that Bepin Babu has never been to Ranchi. No question about it. It was inconceivable that he should forget such an incident which took place only 6 or 7 years ago. So he is thinking he has never been to Ranchi. It is inconceivable. He is not able to be convinced. He is not able to take out from his mind whether he had travelled to Ranchi 6 or 7 years before. It happened 6 or 7 years before. He had excellent memory unless Bepin Babu's head reeled. So he's thinking, I am having a good memory, then how could I forget such a thing? His head was spinning, his head was aching because he forgot such a thing. Was he losing his mind? So Bepin Babu is asking whether he was losing his mind. But how could that be? He was working daily in his office. It was a big firm. So this man was working in a big firm. Big firm means big company. And he was doing a responsible job. And this person was doing a responsible job. He wasn't aware of anything ever going seriously wrong. So he's thinking, nothing wrong with me. I never forget anything. But this man told I was in Ranchi. How could I forget that? Only today he spoke for half an hour at an important meeting, and yet the man knew a great deal about him. How? So this person, I have talked to this person only half an hour. Then how could he know about that happened 6 or 7 years back? He ever seemed to know some intimate details. The bag of books, his wife's death, brother's insanity. Insanity means becoming mad. The only mistake was about his having gone to Ranchi. So all what he told was correct. His wife's death, his brother's insane. Insane means becoming mad, mentally unstable. Then his books, everything he talked was true. But this thing, he went to Ranchi, that was only the thing that was not matching. The only mistake was about his having gone to Ranchi. Not a mistake, a deliberate lie. So this Bepin Babu is telling it was a lie. What he told was a lie. In 58, during the pujas, he was in Kanpur at his friend Haridas Bachi's place. So he was in Haridas Bachi's place. All Bepin Babu had to do was to write no. There was no way of writing to Haridas. Bepin Babu suddenly remembered that Haridas had left with his wife for Japan some weeks before and didn't have his address. So he thought, I'll write to Haridas and ask whether this was correct. I was there or in Ranchi. But he thought, some weeks before Haridas has left to Japan. He was with his wife to Japan and he didn't have his address, Haridas' address. But where was the need for proof? He himself was fully aware that he hadn't been to Ranchi, and that was that. So he's telling, why I should prove that? Because I know that I have never been to Ranchi. I don't want to prove to anyone. The river breeze was bracing. Bracing means stimulating, very good breeze, but this person was feeling uncomfortable. And yet a slight discomfort lingered in Bepin Babu's mind. About hasting, Bepin Babu decided to roll up his trousers and to take a look at his right knee. So that person told he had a cut on his right knee during his stay at Ranchi. So this was only the thing. So Bepin Babu, what he did is, he rolled up his trousers. Trousers means pants. He rolled up to his knee to see that cut. There was a mark of an old inch long cut. There was a mark of an old inch long cut. It was impossible to tell when the injury had occurred. So he was not able to recall when that injury had occurred. Had he never had a fall as a boy and cut his knee, he tried to recall much an incident but couldn't. So he thought he must have fall during his childhood days, but he was not able to recall or recollect when it happened. Then Bepin Babu suddenly thought of Dinesh Mukherjee. The man had said that Dinesh was his Ranji at the same time. So that the man told that Dinesh Mukherjee was also at Ranji during this time. So he recalled that name, Dinesh Mukherjee. The best thing surely would be to ask him. He lived quite near in Bepin Street. What about going right now? So he thought this Dinesh Mukherjee was living nearby. So I'll go and ask him. But then he had already never been to Ranji. What would Dinesh think if Bepin Babu asked for a confirmation? So he thought, I have never been to Ranji. If I ask him what he will think about me. He would probably conclude Bepin Babu was going nuts. No, it would be ridiculous to ask him. Going nuts means becoming mad. So if I go and ask Dinesh Mukherjee whether I was in Ranji, he will think that I am little mad. I have gone loose. So how I am going to ask Dinesh Mukherjee? And he knew how ruthless Dinesh Mukherjee's sarcasm would be. Sarcasm means joking. And he knew if I ask something ridiculous, then Dinesh Mukherjee will be flattering me, will be joking me, and will be making fun of me. Sipping a cold drink in an air-conditioned living room, Bepin Babu felt at ease again. So he was not feeling good. He was feeling confused. Such a nuisance just because they have done nothing else to do. They go about getting into other people's hair. So here Bepin Babu is telling what a nuisance. This man came and talked to me and he has ruined my day. Ruin means he had destroyed my day. So he doesn't have anything to do. That's why he is going to other people's and speaking like this. Going into other one's hair means speaking what nuisance. After dinner, snuggling in bed with one of his new thrillers, Bepin Babu forgot all about the men in Newmarket. So after dinner, he was snuggling. Snuggling means he was coiling inside the bed. So he was on the bed and with his new thriller. Thriller means book, story book. He forgot everything about that man. Next day in office, Bepin Babu noticed that with every passing hours, the previous day's encounter was occupying more and more on his mind. So next day was there. From morning onwards, the encounter, that man, he met that man and what that man told came into his mind. And he was not able to forget anything. All that came into his mind. If man knew so much about Bepin Babu, how could he make such a mistake about the Ranji trip? Just before lunch, Bepin Babu decided to ring up Dinesh Mukherjee. It was better to settle the question over the phone. So, at that lunch time, he was fed up. He thought, I must get an answer for this question. So, he decided to ring up, phone Dinesh Mukherjee. So, by ringing up, he won't be making much fun. At ease at the management of his face without show. 235616. Bepin Babu dialed number. Hello, is that Dinesh? This is Bepin here. Well, what's the news? I just wanted to find out if you recall an incident which took place in 1958. So, this Dinesh Mukherjee is asking, what is the news? Why did you call me? So, this Bepin Babu is asking, can you recall an incident that happened in 1958? So, Dinesh Mukherjee is asking which incident in 1958. You were in Calcutta right through that year. That's the first thing I have got to know. So he's asking, were you in Calcutta during 1950? That is the first thing I want to know. Wait a minute, 58. Just check my diary. For a few minutes there was silence. So this Dinesh Mukherjee is telling, wait a minute, I will check in my diary and tell. So there was some time silence over there because he was checking his diary. Bepin Babu could feel that his heartbeat had gone up. He was sweating a little. So his heartbeat was gone up. His heart was beating very fast and he was sweating. Hello? Yes, I got it. I have been out twice. So I got the diary. It is, I have been there twice. Who is telling? Dinesh Mukherjee. Where? Once in February near to Krishnanagar to our nephew's wedding, and then, but you don't know about this one. The trip to Ranchi. You were too. You were there too. So don't you remember? You were also with me during that time. You too, where they were at Ranchi. That's all. But what's about this reducing about? What is this? You are investigating. Why you are asking such questions? Dinesh Mukherjee is asking. No, I just wanted to. Anyway, thanks. So, the Bepin Babu is telling, I just wanted to know. That's why I called you. Anyway, thank you. Bepin Babu slammed the receiver down and gripped his head in his hands. Gripped his head means holding his head in his hands. So, he slammed the receiver and was holding his head in his hands because he had forgotten what had happened. He felt his head swimming. A chill seemed to spread over his body. There were sandwiches in his tiffin box, but he didn't eat them. He had lost his appetite. So, everything was spinning. He just forgot everything. How can he forget such a thing? He was thinking. And there were sandwiches in his tiffin box because it was lunchtime. But he was not having appetite. He was not feeling hungry. He didn't eat them. So, this is the second portion. Hope you have understood the lesson. See you next week with the third portion. We'll continue with the third portion. Till then, goodbye. Take care.